Hello, this is Christopher Long.
Lauren Ferrati.
Jillian Belay.
Not Jewett.
Robert Turchik.
And we get Dan.
Dan Getz.
And we are
Liberal
Arts Voices. Welcome to Liberal Arts Voices, episode 30. We've got a new person on Google+. This is the Google+ Hangout version of Liberal Arts Voices. And so this is an experiment. I'm really happy to try this. We have members of the Liberal Arts Undergraduate Council, and I see who else has joined us now on Google+. Can you hear us? Is that Caitlin and Amy? Oh, I think they got to deal with their mic, and I think we've got Sam Lohner also on Google+. I'm going to let him deal with his video because we only have the wonderful picture of him as a. What is he at the beach? He's looking good, of course, at the beach. So in any case, This is that? There we are. I can hear you now. So who do we have over there?
No.
Oh, so Caitlin doesn't all of a sudden want to talk. Okay. So, is that Caitlin?
Yeah, they're figuring it out.
This is compelling video, as you can tell. So one of the great things about Liberal Arts Voices is it gives us an opportunity to talk about the liberal arts undergraduate experience here in the College of the Liberal Arts, and I'm very happy to have members of the Liberal Arts Undergraduate Council with us. So it's really, I think, appropriate for us to be doing this grand experiment with Google+, and the Liberal Arts Voices podcast with you guys in LAUC, because you have been very early on adopters of all my harebrained ideas about technology. So let's just begin and talk a little bit about what you guys have planned for LAUC, and then I think we have on Google+, I think Caitlin Perry, who is the advisor. She's over there in the anthropology department and in the labor studies department, and I guess she's over in, where is she, Keller building? No. Keller, yeah, she's in the Keller basement, I think. I don't know if they call that the ground floor or the basement.
She's shaking.
Okay, but I can't see her. So if she Caitlin, can you talk?
I can't hear.
All right, so we're not able to hear Caitlin yet, but we did hear some sound over there at some point. We're still waiting for Sam Lohner to figure out his microphone situation so we can hear him.
Can you hear me on the microphone now?
I do. I hear you on the microphone. Who is that? Sam?
That's Sam Lohner.
All right, we got to turn him up. Sam, can you turn yourself up?
Yeah, let me see if I can do that.
Can you click on Sam?
Years of working at the Penn Stater will teach you all your
So
skills.
Sam Lohner is a former president of the LAUC, and he is currently... Sam, what are you currently doing?
I'm currently a business development social media specialist at Maximus, which is a government services company in Northern Virginia.
That's
we
good.
work all over the world.
Now your voice is coming through a little bit stronger. I'm really glad you could join us. So where are you now? There, physically.
I am at, although it looks like I might be standing on a beach somewhere, I am actually in my office at my house, but I don't know where. I'm not sure exactly why my camera's not working.
All right, you probably have to have the Google
situation I'll have to figure out.
You may need the Google Plus plug-in or something for that. Can we click on Caitlin and see if we can go there? And Caitlin and Amy? Yeah. Ah, there they are. Look at you guys. Can you see us? All right, I got no sound whatsoever coming out of your. Yeah.
No,
okay.
still no sound.
And they're not muted down there. So as you can see, this is a very compelling episode of Liberal Arts Voices. You guys have a student there with you, and I would love to know the student's name, but I can't hear a word you're saying. So could you do some kind of sign language or something?
Sign.
Dan, do we have any ideas of what they might do, or is it something on our side that we have to do? Is there a?
I would think it's probably on their side.
Okay.
They're
All right, they're laughing, so that's good. So I'm glad they're now. Amy's going to write something down. So let's talk a little bit while they do write out their lower third. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys have planned for LAUC.
All right. I'm the current president of LAUC, and what we're doing for the rest of the semester is we are having some dynamic meetings. We are on a bi-weekly meeting schedule, and we're on a bi-weekly meeting schedule. And our next meeting actually is October 6th, and we will be able to bring in some special guests that are very familiar to Liberal Arts Voices. So our very own Jillian Belay and
Excellent.
John Dolan. Yeah.
That's right. John Dolan and Jillian will be visiting. Now, we do have a new visitor to LA Voices, Kathy Holsing, so I don't mean to interrupt Lauren, but Kathy, welcome. Can we hear you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Very well. Very good. I'm very
Great.
happy.
This is my first hangout, so this is very cool.
That is awesome. So, Kathy, say a word or two about who you are.
I'm an instructional designer in the College of Liberal Arts, and I work with putting some of our courses online to offer through the World Campus or to other campuses at Penn State.
Great.
So I'm interested in how we can use Google in our online courses.
Well, I don't know if this is going to stand as a paradigm for that, but we'll see. So I don't even know if I can keep the thread of the conversation going here, Lauren. Do you? So Lauren was just talking a little bit about some of the great speakers they're going to have this year in LAUC.
So we are working with John Dolan and Jillian Belay to do an ice cream social media. So we'll be talking about all the different aspects of social media and digital technology within LAUS and LAUC. And we'll be opening up for questions. We'll be talking about social media and technology in the classroom a little bit. And, of course, to top it all off, we will have ice cream and toppings so that our members will be able to make their own ice cream to enjoy while we're talking about social media.
It really combines the best of all the worlds of Penn State, social media,
Creamery.
ice cream,
Yeah.
So maybe, Sam, if you're still there and can hear us, can you talk a little bit, because you were there at the beginning of our endeavors with regard to social media. Maybe you could say a word or two about that.
Sure. I think. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I hear you. Great. I just wish we could see, the live view, but that's all right.
That's true. I'm not. I don't know. I have to work on that for my next hangout.
Right.
Although, like I tried to say, this probably is my best side.
Oh, okay.
Distant, and standing on a forgotten seashore. But yeah, as Chris said, we were when I was president of LAUC, we first got started with social media. He had just come into the associate dean spot, and I think it would be fair to characterize it as kind of starting from zero. There was, we had a web presence, of course, but I wouldn't say there was much of a social media presence. And I think, the biggest first steps we took involved the blog and the establishment of the curated Twitter feeds. And I'd say that where we are right now is a reflection of kind of the good steps that they took back then. What was that in the spring of 2011? The good steps back there, and there was probably a couple of missteps back and forth, and I even recall the first time that we got an objectionable blog comment that Chris and Jillian had to develop a moderation policy. I think that was probably involving one of the more controversial topics on the blog, the dialogue on dangerous drinking.
That's right.
But the point being that I think we came to a good spot through a number of trials, and I think everybody is on board right now, and that's probably the best place to be.
That's great. Well, and one of the things that, as you can see from this podcast itself, we've been trying to do is just do some experimentation and see what's happening. Now, I had the sense, maybe I'm just dreaming, that Amy Dietz and Caitlin and the student over there have got the audio working. What is it true? Can we click on? Can you guys talk over there in labor studies? Say something again. No, I don't hear you. It's not us, is it?
No.
Man. All right. I thought the fact that you had the students actually running the machine make it actually work over there for a minute. Okay, we'll go back to.
They can be my face. I'll just continue to be the voice.
That's good. Can you guys try to mouth the words that Sam's saying? Maybe we could talk to Matt and Rob a little bit about your roles in the LAUC, and also I know Matt, you've gotten off Twitter recently, so you're the. I mean, Rob's gotten off Twitter, and Matt's still on. You're still going strong, right? And maybe we could talk about social media overload or something. Okay, we can hear you, but we don't. They don't know why they can't hear us. So maybe the issue I think is that you need to make sure your microphone input is on. And that I don't know. You have to go into the preference menu, but we won't troubleshoot. This is not LAUS troubleshooting voices. So maybe Rob and Matt, you can talk a little bit about what you do.
Sure. I'm Rob. Once again, I'm vice president and events chairperson for LAUC. I would say my most prominent role would be as events chairperson, because LAUC is very active throughout the entire year these days, putting on events for students of the college. We just recently had our first event, which was the liberal arts major and minor speed dating.
I don't think it was.
I hear it. I hear somebody. We hear somebody over in the Leader Studies. Is that it? Yes. Yes. All right. Hold that thought, Rob.
Okay.
Speed dating. Speaking of speed dating, now we should talk to Labor Studies because they've been a big player in the speed major dating, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I thought that was a pretty good segue.
And actually, yeah.
You're laughing at me.
No, that's good.
That's okay. And actually, Caitlin was a huge part of speed dating, so if we wanted to go there, I have no objection.
Not really, but we had a lot of fun, and we recruited some students, so that was good. Mm-hmm. And we had some giveaways to give away to our students. Can you see me now?
Awesome.
Okay. In that one.
You guys are down huddled in Amy Dietz's office, is that right?
This is Helen, by the way, and Helen is one of my advisees in anthropology, and she's a Paterno Fellow, and we just totally dragged her in here. She's being really cooperative, and she's the one who figured out the mic for us.
Helen, you are awesome. Tell us a little bit, Helen, about your Paterno Fellow experience. If you're ready, you're live on the internet here.
Well, I haven't done that much with Paterno Fellows yet. I just was accepted last summer, and so my welcoming ceremony won't be till this spring. But so far, I've just been mostly meeting the requirements to be in it.
But she's going to do women's studies with anthropology.
Awesome. Awesome.
Congratulations.
Two awesome Discovery majors getting us back to the theme of the Discovery major. So how was that event in the Finley Commons there with Discovery majors?
I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a good location that Rob picked. You know, the idea was to catch students while they were coming to and from dinner, checking their mail, that kind of thing. So I thought that was a good choice. What did you think, Rob?
I had a very good time, and every department that was there, we had 19 different departments representing the college, and every department expressed satisfaction with the fact that they got at least some interest from undecided students or students who are looking for another major or minor. So in that respect, it went very, very well, I thought.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're always looking to figure out ways to encourage people to think about majors that they didn't necessarily know, about when they were in high school because they didn't have a chance to take that. In fact, speaking of that, what about you guys? Matt, what's your major?
I'm doing crime law justice and political science minor.
That's good. And your
English major, anthropology minor.
Right. And I don't know if we have enough time to list all of Lauren's majors. And I won't ask you to do it in Spanish. Okay, maybe we could talk a little bit more about what is going on this semester with LAUC.
So we have the Ice Cream Social Media coming up. We're going to invite our associate Dean Long to come to a meeting sometime. So he's pretty good about that.
It's going to be one you don't want to miss right there.
We're going to have some other guests coming in for some short talks. We're working with Hillel to bring in a speaker. If you've ever seen the movie Defiance, starring Daniel Craig, the son of his brother in the movie, in real life, is going to come and speak to Penn State students. So we're going to get our liberal arts students involved, get on board with the nice history lesson.
You want to blog post about it?
we will have a blog post about that.
That faceless voice off screen
Yeah.
was Jillian. Just FYI, there's her hands coming in.
Hi, Jillian.
Yeah, so we'll be vlogging. And we're also doing some interesting activities. We had a scavenger hunt last week. Students were running around campus taking all sorts of pictures of different monuments and had different tasks to complete. We have been doing other fun activities and as well as Thon canning. We'll be going canning this weekend as well. So we have a lot going on in that respect. But I think that Matt could tell you more about where you can find more information on that and some of the new innovations that we are doing in conjunction with our digital media chair.
Yes, so my name's Matt, and I'm secretary for LAUC. And coming into the position as secretary, there wasn't much of a definition. So this year we decided to make a big change, and now I take meeting minutes and then post them on our website. So the students, if they miss a meeting, they can go and check them. It's also a great way to keep track of what we do as an organization and just kind of follow, the progress throughout the year. So if you ever want to see what we do, the meeting minutes are on our website.
That's good. I think one of the great things about what you guys are doing now is to really trying to leverage a little bit more even the social media and the openness that potentially comes with social media. And I think one of the things maybe to get Kathy in on this for a second is to ask about that openness with regard to our online offerings. I know we have a lot of online offerings in the liberal arts, and I don't know, where do you see, Kathy, where do you see the openness of that moving?
The openness of the content?
Yeah, the openness
and
of
student interactions?
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, we don't really have that much open content, do we?
No, we really don't. It's an area that, we try to talk about with the faculty when we're looking to develop a new course. Some departments are a little more, willing to kind of consider that kind of thing than others. Right. So, it's something that we're always trying to encourage, but so far I think we've probably had some limited success. But I will say we are starting to do more with, Penn State blogs. A couple courses that I've worked on, we've had students that are creating a blog and then putting their thoughts about certain assignments or whatever on that blog, which they're completely open, and then they're going to be using those at the end of the program to create an e-portfolio that they're going to be using going forward. So I think in that case that's a really good use of the technology.
So I wonder if we could take this as a quick opportunity. This is a little dangerous, I know. Maybe have any of the students, Helen or any of you, or even Sam? I don't think Sam. Did you do an online course in liberal arts?
No.
No, I took one in arts and architecture and one in EMS, I think, but I don't think I ever took a liberal arts online course.
Okay. Has anybody, have any of you?
No, I have one scheduled for this upcoming spring.
Is it a liberal arts course or just
it's
online?
an anthropology.
Anthropology. Oh, is it the...
Which one?
Yeah, which
146. It is
okay.
North American Indians.
North American Indians. Yeah, we just revised that course, actually.
Well,
so it's kind of a new version, so I'll be anxious to hear what you think.
Does that have a lot of video and things in it? Is that one of the things that it... for...
I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't actually seen the revised version. In fact, we may still be working on that this semester. But I know originally all of the content was in PDF files, and so
right.
we've moved that over into a little better kind of content area. So I think it's going to be a good course, and I'll be anxious to hear what you think.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do another podcast on the. No pressure on that course.
Yeah, right.
We're always trying to, think of how we can improve our online offerings, and one of the things I'm actually would be interested in hearing from the students about is, what your sense is, not even if you haven't yourself taken an online course in residence, what you think sort of the general student attitude about that is, and where you think, and you can be honest. I mean, although we are live on the internet, but that's all right.
Well, I haven't actually taken any online courses, but everything I've heard about them is that they're really easy.
Yeah, that's the thing I worry most about as associate dean is there's a belief on the part of students and also maybe even on the part of faculty that they're easier to teach because actually, Kathy, all the good work that you do and your office does in designing the course sometimes has the result of making it easier to teach in a way. I think that if they're designed well, then they're just as difficult and as enriching it can be an experience as face-to-face. But that takes a lot of creativity and a lot of imagination.
Well, if Amy Dietz is still over there in LER, she could probably chime in on that.
over here.
Oh, yeah, right.
She's taught and designed online courses, so...
Yeah, Amy,
Yeah, I definitely am big onto the video thing, so, and I'll throw it in regardless. I had a Penn State football player on my online course last fall, and he happened to come in one day for office hours, so I said, hey, you're playing against Michigan, why don't we do a little video? And the whole class, and this was a collective bargaining class, they can be rooting for Penn State knowing you're going to be playing as one of their fellow peers in the class. So he gave a little introduction about who he was, what he played, position, and then we uploaded it. And the class loved that because they got to realize that they're really connected to Penn State, whether or not they're in Hawaii or just, somewhere else in Pennsylvania or wherever. So I use video all the time in my weekly announcement to kind of bring in kind of what might be happening in the world of labor. And then, we have all these alums that are around. I'm already thinking, okay, so this is my first time using this, and we have little bumbles in the beginning, but I'm already thinking, what a great opportunity to use this for office hours. So here you have a collective bargaining negotiation assignment that often students are a little bit unsure of how to use. And if we can get them up to speed on Google+, then they could each, for wherever they are, come in and we could talk about, okay, so you're the labor side, you're the management side, you're the, mediation side. Here are some approaches. And I already thought this would be an easy way for students to have access to each other and discuss how to make the learning even, more tangible.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that with Google Plus, you can get up to 9 people on here. So you wouldn't be able, I don't think, to get well, depending on how big your class is, you could do it in group sessions. I think
right.
the beauty
so
of
like
it is,
team.
yeah, the beauty of it is what should be the low overhead, and I think we're showing today that there still is some trying to figure out about microphones and video and how that all works, but it's amazing how easy it is, and I put this out to the widest public possible, so we could theoretically get somebody jumping on here from anywhere who's following on my Google Plus profile, but you can limit it to groups, and so I think there's all kinds of really compelling aspects of this particular technology. Mm-hmm. Sam, have you been thinking about how you might be using Google Plus? How's Google Plus working with your...
She's gone now. They went back for their appointment.
Okay, good. So I was thinking about asking Sam Aloner. Is he still with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, he's there. Sam, have you been thinking a lot about how Google Plus impacts your social media job?
Well, actually, I haven't given too much consideration to it yet, because what we're going to be using it for is probably when the brand pages and the official pages roll out, because a lot of the pages that I work on or help operate are government organizations. So if the Pennsylvania or even like the Center County Health Department, something like that, were to have a presence on Google Plus, it would we would have to see what features and options are going to be available for us as an organization and not as a person.
Right.
But having said that, I would say that I have given some thought to its use wider and maybe more in the public sector as using that as a government term. I think that there's an opportunity to use it because I think for the same benefits that you just discussed in a classroom setting, the control of message is a lot more robust on Google Plus than it is on, say, Facebook, for example, as the closest competitor or the closest corollary.
Right.
you get a message and everyone gets it. This a lot more control here. I mean, obviously, governments aren't going to be too comfortable right away trusting the circle concept, where they would distribute a message that would to one circle and assume that no one else was going to get it because of all these privacy concerns and everything like that. That would probably not happen right away. But I think it does have an option for at least separating your message, where you can direct it a little more carefully or forcefully than you can on through Facebook or Twitter, where you would need multiple Twitter accounts and some people would follow some and some people wouldn't. This allows you to, from a central location, direct your message to different outputs, and I think that's what a lot of people are going to find most valuable, whether it's in the education setting, government setting, or private sector.
Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe we could take advantage of this opportunity to have you and now Lauren. You were the web designer, right? Yeah. When Sam was president. Mm-hmm. So you guys know each other, but we have this kind of cool situation happening here where we have two-year past president and the current president. Maybe you guys could talk a little bit about sort of where LAUC is and where it's going.
Well, it's really interesting because I was the digital media chairperson for the past 3 years, so that includes when Sam was president, when Jeff was president, and then when Richard was president, before Sam, before you came along with all your cool technology. And do you want us to talk about more the difference in media, or? Well,
and maybe also I'd actually be interested in hearing you talk a little bit about your vision for where LAUC is going.
Sam, do you want to start talking about? Do you want to start it off with kind of how it was when you were?
Sure, I would love to spend some time discussing how I wish we had tools like these, and the setup to use them back 2 years ago. Although it doesn't, when you say 2 years, it probably does, it really doesn't seem that long ago. But if you consider 2 years ago, what is it? It's fall semester now. Fall semester 2 years ago, there was no blog. There was nothing except the website, which now looks totally different. Also, so we've come a long way in 2 years. But 2 years ago, when I was LAUC president, I think it probably would have been a great advantage for us to have been able to connect to our members better, just internally, meetings or the events we held. The speed dating is kind of a new idea, but we had similar events in the past, and if you can kind of deliver those online through social media, and I'm thinking particularly Google Plus because of the what would ideally be a face-to-face conversation, although right now it's a face-to-profile picture conversation. But so you've got those options there for internal communication, but you can also leverage social media for some what I think are powerful external communication factors. In a meeting, you bring in somebody like who is either in the university but can't make it. Chris, the associate dean can't make it to a meeting, but maybe he can tune in and display himself on the screen in the room or something like that we can have a conversation that way. Or even people who aren't with the university, alumni, or interested parties who are friends of Penn State but wouldn't have a chance to communicate with liberal arts undergraduate students. So I think, externally there's some value to it too. I mean, those are the things I would have liked to use it for, but I think social media is only as useful as it's an auxiliary mechanism. The connection should be there in some other way too. And I think what LAUC has now is a connection and a community built more effectively in the College of the Liberal Arts and University Park as a whole than we had 18 months ago. So using that as a foundation, I think that's why social media is going to be so valuable to them. That would be my prediction, and maybe Lauren can talk about how specifically social media will be valuable.
So as far as social media goes, we're using a lot of different facets. We're actually right now in the process of, working and updating. We kind of tried to hit it in all ways with the website, with Twitter, with a Facebook group, and now we're trying to fine-tune it to get more meaningful blogs, to use the Facebook in a way that is more effective. And so that's we had discussion at our last meeting, and that's why we're continuing it into this ice cream social media in this meeting, and we're going to continue to update it. Also, I think it's helped us with all of our different areas. Right now, there are 9 execs, and that is more than we've ever had, because we have really been able to break down the different aspects so that a person is really in charge and can curate those things. And it's helped us, like Sam said, to build a community that we're able to have these activities both internally and externally and get our message out there. This year we have Envoys, which is very new. And I think just our work in all the different aspects, we are filling over room 124 Sparks, which also has never happened. And it's great to see that we're growing as an organization. We're learning from what we did, and we're coming up with new ideas, of course. But this social media is helping us to get that out there. So when Matt puts the meeting minutes online, you can follow our feed on our website and get more information that way. So it's really going from something that can be potentially static to something that's really evolving. And I hope that when I'm in Sam's position that I can look forward and say, wow, they're way ahead of where we were. So.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I'm seeing that I think is really exciting from my perspective is we're beginning to see with the Liberal Arts Envoys program, which is a group of students who are trained really to do some of that bridging work and introduce people from outside the college to the college and help us give presentations. It's really a great initiative that has really been student initiated. And we have already started thinking about an initiative that would try to reduce the amount of paper that we as a college use in our coursework and in our activities. And that, too, is coming out now sort of from the student side. And that's one of the things that we're realizing is that as you open social media up in the way we have and invite people to come into this community, that I, speaking for myself, we begin to learn a lot.
I think that's true.
Yeah.
I'd say they're, as an outsider, kind of an outsider anyway, I guess I am here after all, but as somebody who's kind of outside of the world, what's really interesting for me to watch is the difference, the two different sides of it. One, how social media is changing what the College of Liberal Arts and the Penn State, and the Liberal Arts Undergraduate Council are doing, what they would be doing anyway, how social media is changing what they have done and would be doing. Then the other part is what social media is enabling them to do that they wouldn't have done before. I think those two parts of it, for me as somebody who can kind of look back and I try to watch both of them, evenly from a step back, really interesting to kind of see what's happened. And I would say that, what Lauren has described as the meeting minutes online and following the feed and even commenting on them on the blog, that's something that would have happened anyway, but now social media has changed and enhanced. And there are other things, I think, maybe that are going to spring out of what the Envoys are doing or other things like that just would never have happened if we hadn't had the connection that we do through the LAUS blog, the LAUC blog, now Google+, things like, all these new opportunities that are interesting to watch, for me anyway.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I'm increasingly aware of is the way that the relationships we establish online, bleed into our face-to-face relationships when you're on campus, but also when I see you guys around the halls or on campus. There's a lot more you can talk about because we know sort of what's going on with each other, because we're kind of more connected in that way. And I think one of the things maybe to link up, and we're going to have to end this soon, but one of the things to link up some of the things that Amy Dietz that you're doing and Kathy that you're doing, and Dan, I know you're back there also, and one of the things, and Dan works in Media Commons, so really a big shout out to Media Commons for making this first Google Plus Hangout LA Voices podcast possible. I think we're learning some things from it. But one of the things that I think we could talk just briefly about is this strategy of using of practicing the use of the technology and learning from that practice from one another in and through the technology itself, and that takes a lot of courage on the part of a faculty member, let's say, to open their classroom up in a certain way. Amy, that you're talking about, doing these videos, you're out there, you're ready. I mean, you're not happily you're not shy, which is great, but it takes some doing. You got to figure out how to how you're going to be on screen and how it's going to work, and then you have to put it out there and hope that there's a response.
I agree. But sometimes I don't even need a response. I can be fine just all by myself with a video.
I think that one of the things I always enjoy about talking to you, Amy, is you have grasped the element of play and the fun that all of this is. I see that in your Facebook presence and in not only when we talk face to face, but in contexts like this where there's got to be a dimension of play, and that means you're trying new things. You're ready to fall on your face and look a little silly sometimes, maybe. Not that you do that, but I'm saying that for myself. And sometimes the audio's not going to work, or somebody's picture's not going to show up. But you learn from it, and it's again just an opportunity to collaborate with one another. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe that will conclude our maiden voyage of Liberal Arts Voices Google Plus Hangout. And I really thank everybody for coming on Google Plus and for coming physically here to the Media Commons in 11 Sparks. And I thank everybody who will hopefully be watching this as we stream it again with the podcast. But I'm hoping that this will be the first of many enhanced video Google Plus LA Voices podcast. So this has been Liberal Arts Voices.